Hi, this is James Shug at Westpac with the London end of day report for Wednesday, September the 19th. Not quite end of day, it's actually just came up to 3 p.m. in London, but commitments later on mean I've got to do this a bit early. So we've just had the US market open for half an hour or so. The main driver of positive sentiment in equity markets in Europe today was the somewhat unexpected Bank of Japan stimulus. So the BOJ has now put in place effectively an asset purchase program, another round of quantitative easing, joining the Bank of England, the Fed and the European Central Bank, who have all made similar announcements recently, either starting or continuing with their quantitative easing programs. The data flow today was fairly sparse actually. We've had US housing starts up 2.3% in August. Housing permits were down 1%, but the underlying story in terms of the single family component was fairly positive. We saw a bounce in single family starts. They were up 5.5% in August, having fallen 4.5% in July. And on the permit side, we saw a single family rise of 0.2%. Over the year, we've seen starts rise. Let's have a look. It's looking at a 29% rise, and permits are up about 25%. So these figures, along with other indicators of the housing market in the US, show that the sector really has started to improve. It's lifted itself off at the bottom. In fact, starts are up since their low point about 3 years ago. We're looking at a 57% rise. That sounds impressive, but that still represents only a recovery of 15% of the decline in starts from their peak in 2006 to their trough in 2009. So we're still looking at a sector that is much reduced in terms of its size and in terms of its contribution to the economy, even though it is growing again. We're due to get figures on existing home sales fairly shortly. They'll be out just after I finish this report actually. We're looking for a rise to come through there as well, but as I say, those figures aren't released yet. Canadian house prices are running a 4.1% annual pace of gain. That's the slowest there since the middle of last year. And the Bank of England minutes to their September meeting showed, although a unanimous vote in favour of maintaining the asset purchase program there, which currently has a target of £375 billion due to be reached by November, minutes showed that one member of the 9-man committee saw a strong case for an immediate further expansion of that target, and others on the committee expected that the case would soon be made for a further round of quantitative easing. Now, our view at Westpac is that we see 375 as being the limit. That's where the bank's QE program will stop, but the risks around that view are clearly towards yet further policy stimulus being announced. That was it in terms of the news so far today. In terms of markets, we've got the London market, remember a couple of hours ahead of the close, pretty much flat today, but the French market up 0.2% and the German market up 0.2%, and the Spanish and Italian markets up just under 0.2% as well. The Dow, just into the first half hour of trading, is up 0.1% at 13,575, with the Bank of Japan, as I say, the main driver of the gains so far today. On the commodity markets, gold's little changed at $1,773 an ounce. Copper prices are up 0.6%, but oil's down almost 2% at $93.57 a barrel. We're going to get inventory figures later today, weekly ones, and they're expected to show that the US stockpiles of petroleum have risen. If that's confirmed, that'll justify the decline in the price. The Aussie dollar, it's at 1.045 against the US dollar at the moment. It's been trading a fairly tight range so far in the London session. Later on today, we're going to get New Zealand, tonight, so that's Thursday Aussie Kiwi time, we're going to get New Zealand GDP figures for the second quarter, and for Australia, Westpac's putting out the latest, the third quarter survey of industrial trends that we conduct with the Australian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So that's about it really. It's a quick report, and as I say, a report compiled somewhat before the end of the day. I'll be back tomorrow with the next report, which hopefully will be at the end of the day. Okay, I'll speak to you then.